From here on out, every single Tuesday at midnight, you're going to be able to view me answering your questions raw, okay? Raw and unfiltered. Now, I don't give myself raw to just anybody. The only person that gets me raw is my husband. And the only reason he gets me raw is because I can go to CVS at any time and grab one of those HIV kits, those home HIV tests, and he'll swab on the spot without hesitation. That's when I knew that he was the one, because that's what we did before we even got involved in this relationship. So if you want to know if somebody's serious about you, not only will they spend all their time, but they won't mind swabbing and submitting an HIV test on spot just to make sure you are safe and secure when they're on top of you, giving you all of them, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, every Tuesday, you all just leave your questions below here, leave them on my other videos, and I'll come back and select a few, and I'll answer them and give you 150% real raw answers, whether you like them or you don't, okay? That's just how it's gonna be, all right? I want you guys to get to know me and really see who the hell I am and why the hell my friends tend to not fuck with me on an everyday basis. Question of the night. Tasha, when I put up the Bishop Eddie Long video and I titled it Bishop Eddie Long's Last Wish Before Dying, and I gave my theory on why he did not tell anybody that he was going to die, okay? And my theory was that if he had told people that he was going to die, he probably would have transitioned a lot sooner, okay? And I stated in the video that I was not taking up for Bishop Eddie Long, but I was taking a neutral stance because he had kids and he had a daughter that was reading all of those hateful comments about her father, and a lot of people that was stating that the whole family, including his daughter, needed to burn in hell for his indiscretions. And so I did my research, and it was some extensive research to bring you that video that was very neutral, because believe me, I recorded several other videos, and two of my closest colleagues told me do not release those videos. So the question that I'm gonna answer, this damn fruit fly, damn. So they asked me, Tasha, were you defending Bishop Eddie Long in that video? Because I said that I was taking a neutral stance on this and that I found some inconsistencies in the case, okay, when it came to that case. And the answer was, yes, I was slick defending him, and here's why, okay? I have a legitimate reason as to why. When I went through and I pulled the court documents that these victims had filed against both Bishop Eddie Long in the church and his school or whatever, I only found that only one person out of all of the sexual assault victims had came on record to state that there was only one time that he and Bishop Eddie Long supposedly had relations, and it was in a hotel room that they shared, and I believe there was some dick sucking going on, allegedly, okay? And so me being a victim of sexual assault, it really threw me off, because when I was a victim of sexual assault and I was around this person every day, which I was, and these boys were around Bishop Eddie Long all the time, allegedly, every chance that my predator had, he took it. It could have been when my grandma turned her head and he would just grab me, touch me, try to do whatever he could to me. And so when he got caught, when I finally told my family what was going on, I can remember countless times of things happening. Now, there was this interview that I had watched of two of the victims, and I want to play a clip here from it, okay? Watch this.
For some odd reason, people think we had sex. Let me clarify that one, point blank, period. No one ever said we had sex. I've seen articles of, we did not have sex, point blank, period. We simply said there were things that were inappropriate, sexual. What Spencer LeGrand speaks about is his personal experience. What Jamal Parrish speaks about is mine. And everybody else, they do their own thing.
After I watched that video and after I read those court documents, it really had me looking at this case from a distance. If I were a lawyer, if I was a judge proceeding of this case, will I automatically say or make up in my mind that this is what Bishop Eddie Long did because he did not come out and outright admit that he did not do it? And my answer would be no. He would have a trial, because when you have a few victims that accuse you of something so heinous and only one out of all of them can recall one time that something happened, and then he puts a video up like this saying this here.
For some odd reason, people think we had sex. Let me clarify that one, point blank, period. No one ever said we had sex. I've seen articles of, we did not have sex, point blank, period. We simply said there were things that were inappropriate.
Now, everybody's asking the question, well, Tasha, how is it that you still could defend him? Which I'm not defending him. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt, okay? Because you'll be shocked. A lot of people will do a lot of shit for the wrong reasons, but they'll think that they're the right reasons, okay? And so with this case here, he would have to have a trial with me for me to make up my mind all the way to say that this is what he did. Do I believe he's a hypocrite? Yes. Do I believe all these things? Yes. But here's what really stood out to me. As a victim of sexual assault, I take offense to that because I can recall every single time my accuser did what he did. Okay, these boys supposedly didn't say that they were drugged in any kind of way. They just said that he used his mind to brainwash them to do whatever it is that he wanted them to do. And I just found it crazy that only one could remember, and then he changed his story, allegedly. Now, as far as for the church, okay, everybody's asking, Tasha, he never said that he didn't do it, and that's why we have all the reason to say that he did do it. Bishop Eddie Long worked for New Birth, okay? So when you work for New Birth and these victims are suing New Birth, you as an employee, just like if your company was getting sued, if you did something to somebody and your company was getting sued, you would have to do what those company lawyers would tell you to do. You just couldn't do what you wanted to do. And so the church made a sound and right business decision, which I think, and if it were me and I was over that church, okay, which I'll never be over at church, but I'm just saying, if I was over that church, they did the right thing by saying, look, either we can fight this case to prove that you're innocent, okay? And we can spend millions of dollars on the court system. We can spend X amount of dollars on the lawyers. We can spend X amount of dollars on you and your family because you're not going to be able to preach and keep money coming in. And it's just going to open this church wide open. And the church is probably going to end up going out of business. And we're here anyway for the people. And then we're probably going to end up having to pay these boys millions of dollars or whatever if you're found guilty. Now, if it were me over that church, I would say, listen here. We're going to settle with these boys and we're going to give them X amount of dollars a piece, and everybody's going to have a gag order on them, and nobody's ever going to be able to talk about it. Now, in this case, silence kind of made him guilty a little bit, in my opinion, because it's like, why is it, not to me, but to the public, why is it that he never said that he didn't do it? Well, he couldn't because he was instructed by his employer not to do that because they were suing them all as a collaborative effort. And so if they had to let Bishop Eddie Long go, if they had to fired him, it would have admitted guilt, and then it would have made the church look some kind of way, like, damn, they're not doing their homework. So as a legitimate business organization, okay, they have to protect the interests of both the people and the business, and they have to make sound decisions to see what's going to cost us the least amount of money that our congregation gave us in order to do what we have to do for the community, if they were doing what they were supposed to do for the community. And I believe he was, because they did launch a tax investigation. They opened a Senate investigation on New Birth and other churches, and they didn't find anything corrupt about the church, okay? So when all of this happened with Bishop Eddie Long, and everybody got mad saying that he was gay, and there was a few bloggers that came out to say that they knew that he was gay and stuff like that, and these were gay men. Let me tell you something. It is very hard these days to be a man, especially a black man, in the community. And as soon as you have an ounce of success, and I want to say this on record, and you piss somebody off, it's really easy for somebody to say that you're gay, and people believe it because of what's been going on in the black gay community. And there have been men that have actually been gay and have probably done things to people that have hurt them. So we as a community have lost trust in our black men. And so when somebody does accuse them of being a pedophile or gay, we tend to just automatically believe it without giving them a chance to defend themselves, okay? You'll be surprised. A lot of people are vindictive when it comes to people in high places. And it just threw me for a loop when I saw that only one of those accusers had admitted in court documents that only one incident occurred and there weren't multiple incidents that were documented. And also he changed his mind in that interview where they in it for the money, because when they got the money, they bought cars and bought drugs, allegedly, okay? And pissed that money away and went away. Was this a setup? Was Georgia so upset with Bishop Eddie Long? Maybe they could have planted anything. Maybe they could have paid them boys anything. You know what I'm saying? To go on record to say what they say. All I know is that when I read those court documents and I used common fucking sense, if I were the church and if I employed somebody like Bishop Eddie Long and there were inconsistencies in the stories and in the case, I'm just going to pay them off to go shut up and shut the fuck up, and I'm going to keep my millions of dollars and keep this church going and hire somebody else to come in and preach and keep the church going, because the church is supposed to be there for the people, if that's what a church is supposed to be. So those were my thoughts on the case. I'm sorry if I did. I'm not sorry if I pissed a lot of people off, but when I actually did my research and read up on it and I saw the interviews over and over, that's what brought me to the conclusion to take a neutral stance. As far as the cancer thing, okay? Let me tell you something. I have a lot of, as far as me saying that Bishop Eddie Long had cancer, I have friends that have both full-blown AIDS and I have friends with HIV, okay? Now, I've had a friend with full-blown AIDS for 7 years, okay? He's still alive, well, looks great, has weight on his body. You can't tell. Now, a lot of people saying Bishop Eddie Long wasn't taking his meds. Okay, that if he did have HIV. I have yet to see any medical record or anybody come on record to say that they gave Bishop Eddie Long AIDS, that he had AIDS, and there weren't any released medical records when it came to his alleged illness. Okay, now I do know, just like Prince, everybody was like, oh, Prince was taking pills. And people were like, no, he wouldn't do nothing like that. And then months later, the coroner reports just came, the police reports just came out that they found pills all over Prince's house, okay? These things eventually come out. And so if this were to come out, for me, I'm not going to go by speculation and by hearsay, because it's really easy for another man to say that this person is this, because gay men have just that much power. I love you guys, but you guys know you have the power to shut a man down, okay? You have the power to make his wife leave him. But in this case, in Bishop Eddie Long's case, the reason the church didn't leave him, the reason his wife didn't leave him, and the kids didn't leave him is because they probably saw the same inconsistencies that I saw when I actually read the documents that were filed from the victims, okay, from their lawyers, and I watched their interviews. And being that I was actually in that position, that's what gave me the conclusion to say, wait a minute, I need to take a step back and look at this for what it is. It looks really fucking funny, okay? And I'm going on record to say that, and those are my thoughts. Now, until somebody actually comes out with some actual factual proof, that's when I'll change my mind. But based on what we have now, okay, and being that he is laid to rest, I'm sure something may come up. But for right now, this is my stance on this, okay? So, sorry, guys. It is what it is. Now, I gotta go. Now, before I go, I gave a wine tutorial yesterday on what we are drinking. Every Monday, you will get the featured wine selection, so you'll have a chance to go out and get it. And pretty soon, you'll be able to purchase it right through my website. For this week, it is the Moscato, the Provincia de Pavia, okay? This is an authentic Moscato made in Italy. I gave a full, detailed review on this Moscato. I'll leave the link below. It is very aromatic. It's sweet. I have it in a dessert wine glass. It's not something that I would drink every day. It's something that's meant and was meant to be made as a dessert wine, just like we eat red velvet cake right after our meals, okay? If you like the video, subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at UNWINEWITHTASHAK. And if you didn't like it, subscribe anyway, just so you can cuss my ass out. Not that I'ma give a damn. Anyway, now I gotta go. Bye.